where the Robotic Hair Institute in Fort Lauderdale, Florida is a premier robotic hair restoration clinic. Dr. Sierra treats men and women of all ages who long to return to the days when they had copious amounts of hair. From implants to toupees to various chemical applications, men and women are eager to embrace a variety of treatments that promise to restore hair to its youthful volume and abundance. This show will discuss the latest procedures and technology for hair restoration. We specialize in providing the latest no-scar, robotic view hair restoration surgery. And thanks to advances in medical science and technology, we also offer non-surgical procedures and medical protocols combined with proprietary topical compounds to help augment and solidify results. Get ready to call in at 888-565-1470 and join the conversation of this amazing procedure. Let's start improving our lives.
I've been unlucky in love and so disenchanted. I screwed it all up and took you for granted here. I wish you never were not there. Can't get a job and nobody loves me. Used to have friends, but now I'm so...
If you've had that feeling with the loss of hair, you've come to the right station. Welcome to Better Hair, Better You, a radio show where we talk all things hair. As we sit down with Dr. Rafael Sierra with the Sierra Robotic Hair Institute located in Fort Lauderdale. Hi, I'm your host for tonight, Alana Shearer, your South Florida arts advocate and media host. Whether you're tuning in from 95.3, 96.9, 1470, or catching our live stream, we're glad to have you here. As always, during our show, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or maybe have some myths of your own you would like to be busted tonight, you can call us at 888-565-1470. Without further ado, let me go ahead and bring him on over on this nice chilly Monday. It is our one and only Dr. Rafael Sierra. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. A little cold. How
are
you?
A little chilly, but hanging in there, starting off our Monday well. Tell me a little bit, for anyone who might be tuning in for the very first time, tell me all about what is the Sierra Robotic Hair Institute all about?
So we are, state-of-the-art facility that specializes in hair restoration. Our main focus is FUE, or follicular urine extraction, hair transplants. We do that with the Artist robot, which is the latest technology. It's the only robot that is FDA approved for hair transplantation. And we don't only do that, we also do non-surgical treatments. We do PRP. We try to take a kind of a holistic approach on hair loss.
So all things hair and getting it back for us. I know we were watching this intro to start off our show today. We're seeing this poor gentleman with complete baldness,
so sad,
longing for the copious amounts of hair from everybody around him.
Yeah.
The key word is copious.
Yes.
So for anyone who's listening and might be wondering, hair loss, hair restoration, is this right for me? You have to find out and stay tuned during our show. We're talking about Valentine's Day coming around the corner soon. So whether it's for yourself, a friend, someone you love, maybe this is the right kind of present for you to show some love to your hair, right?
Yeah.
So on today's show, I know we've talked about different ways of the FUE procedure, how that helps people grow back their hair. But I figured we could do a little bit of myth busting today when it comes to all things hair and hair loss. So are you in for the mood to do some myth busting for me?
Okay, let's hear it.
So myth number one that we have today is, does wearing hats too often cause your hair to fall out eventually? Because we have many people from Port St. Lucie, they're asking, wearing ball caps all the time from a young age. I know there's lots of baseball, softball players who wear them all the time, starting young. So does that play a role when you're getting older, coming to the major leagues, of getting those bald spots?
That's a myth. I mean, there is something called traction alopecia, which is when we see that a lot in certain hairstyles where the hair is pulled constantly, very tightly, like dancers, like in certain cultures, they wear really tight braids, and that can cause hair loss. But a cap is not strong enough to do that.
So unless it's really tugging and pulling your hair, maybe you got that Velcro in the back, pulling your hair out every time you take it off.
Yeah,
It is a myth.
it is a myth.
So that one is busted. All right. Myth number 2. Is hair loss completely permanent? Is it a one and done deal? Because Miss Angie from Boca says she has lost a significant amount of hair on the crown of her head. And she was told it could possibly grow back. But that was 5 years ago. And she's starting to feel like maybe that's not
It's
so
not
true.
going back. Well, so the truth is that it depends on what the cause of hair loss is. There's certain types of hair loss that are temporary. For example, things that are like nutrition related or even stress related, medication related, and patients that are going under chemotherapy. Those patients will lose their hair, and then eventually, if that stressing factor is removed, then people can regrow their hair. On the other hand, if we're talking about hair loss because of DHT, which is the main cause for hair loss in men, then we're talking about permanent hair loss.
And you said THC.
DHT, dihydrotestosterone.
Okay. So relating to that. But as far as if the reasoning is behind stress, you said nutrition, or if it's sometimes cancer-related treatments, those are usually factors where
Certain medications and other reasons for hair loss, which are more from inflammatory responses or dermatological diseases, where you can lose your hair, but if you treat the disease, the underlying disease, then the hair will grow back.
will grow back. So Angie, it depends on your case. So I would say that it's like a half busted. Not so much though, because it could be true.
It can be true.
It can be true. All right.
So
check mark on that one.
Go see a dermatologist or come see us and we can help you.
And speaking of which, if someone is interested and coming to see you live in your facility, it is located at 2151 East Commercial Boulevard in Suite 204 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And remind everyone, if they wanted to schedule an appointment or call ahead, can they do that as well?
Yes, you can find us on the web at sierrarobotic.com, or you can just call us directly at 954-776-0830.
So you can find out, a little bit of a self-diagnosis about what your specific case is. I will say from previous shows, getting to be able to talk with you and previous clients, it's truly a one-on-one experience, very customizable, hospitable, very welcoming feeling when you go into your facility.
Yeah, all our consults include direct consult with me. That's a little different from other places where usually they meet with a patient coordinator, and then a lot of times they don't even get to meet the doctor. In our case, I do all the consultations, and I make sure that we go through a thorough medical history, make sure that there's nothing underlying that needs to be treated before we jump into doing a hair transplant or any other kind of treatment. And I think that's important because there's some places they're just trying to focus on making money, and we're not. I mean, I'm trying to make sure that we do the right thing for the patients. We are very conscious about how sensitive this topic is. We try to keep their privacy very, very tight. And then, like I said, it's always the consults are with me.
So direct to the doctor, not the sales rep, is good to know.
Exactly.
Now, back to our myths. I have a Larry from the Davie area. He says that he is in a very high-pressure job for the last 6 years, and he's starting to see his hair is falling out. We briefly just talked about stress, so just to clarify the myth, stress is a cause for hair loss.
Stress can cause hair loss, yes.
It can be a cause. Well, there could also probably be lapping over of different causes too, correct?
A lot of times is what we call multifactorial. There is not one single cause. In this case, stress, it is something that can add on to other factors, such as genetics, that can trigger hair loss.
And now, if this is not something that is stress related, you're maybe fearing that this is the permanent hair loss that you're noticing either in yourself or your friend, I would say it's good to be aware of that now and not be pushing it off till later. You want to come in ASAP. Can you explain a little bit why you don't want to wait until that full bald head comes out to show?
Well, like anything in medicine, you want to act as soon as you see something or you feel something, because usually when we catch things early are much easier to treat. In the case of hair loss, maybe if we catch it soon enough, you won't need a transplant. Maybe we can get a hold of it and do other treatments that will help decrease or maybe even stop hair loss, and then from there on, you might not even need a transplant or any other procedure. So the sooner the better.
And for example, I know you've mentioned earlier in the show, I believe it's PRP.
Yes,
is
PRP.
the other procedure that you mentioned that you offer as one of your options for prevention. And could you explain a little bit about what PRP is?
Sure. PRP is platelet-rich plasma. Basically, what we do is we draw a certain amount of blood from a patient. We put that in a centrifuge, and we separate the red blood cells from the platelets, which is a component of the blood. And that those platelets are also associated with growth factors and other molecules that are basically their job is to repair tissue. So what we do is we separate all the other components that can cause other reactions, especially the red blood cells, and then we inject that in the scalp. And there is it's still considered kind of an experimental treatment, but there is very promising results. PRP has been used for many years for sports injuries and also for joint treatment for pain, and it has very good results. As far as hair goes, there is some studies that have shown really good results, especially when it's combined with other treatments like minoxidil or finasteride. So we offer that at our institute, and people are very happy with the results most of the time.
Which is good to hear. Now, if someone is out there listening like me, and the second you heard blood or needles and surgery and experimental, you're starting to get a little bit nervous about that pain tolerance.
Yeah.
How would you say your clients relate back to their pain levels when talking about these procedures?
So we make sure that our patients are comfortable. We use local anesthetics. We make sure that at every point of every procedure, they're comfortable. We also offer, for the patients that want, we have nitrous oxide, which is laughing gas. You probably heard about it.
So that would ease my nerves a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. So we make sure that everybody is comfortable, and as far as pain goes, I can't tell you that it's completely painless, but it's minimal, and it's very transitory. There's no, even for the transplant, the patients have maybe some minimal pain the day of the surgery, but next day usually patients call me and they're like, I don't have any pain, doc. I'm feeling fine. So yeah.
Now, and while we did discuss about our myth bust on if hair loss is permanent or not, I do want to highlight that the Dr. Rafael Sierra's procedure with FUE, the hair transfusion, is permanent, a procedure.
Yes,
This is not a come back again and again and again. As much as we like Dr. Rafael Sierra, this is a one and done time procedure that you do.
Right. The transplant that we do, the hair that we transplant, will grow for the rest of your life. Some patients decide that they want to get more hair transplanted if they want more density, or they have other areas that are being, I guess they're losing more hair. Then we can address those. But usually the area that we do the transplant, that is, like you said, it's one time done, and that's it for the rest of your life.
Unless you want that really fluffy, copious amounts of hair, when you want an extra session, that's when you would come back.
Some people
again.
get greedy, you know.
You can never have too much hair, right? That would be the opposite problem here. So back to our myth busting. Here it is. I have another one. Myth or not myth? Only older people suffer from baldness.
Myth.
Total myth.
Total myth,
you have clients not only ranging in age, but gender too, correct?
Correct, yes. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was for Adam because he was 27 years old and he was asking. He also wanted to know by any chance if there's any ointments that he could be using to help maybe prevent or reverse that balding that he might be seeing coming
There
up.
is some topical agents. Minoxidil is the one that is the most effective. And as far as age goes, like you said, I've had patients that are as young as 20.
Wow.
And with significant hair loss. So it comes down a lot of times just to genetics.
Well, and I would think that even at a younger age, it's difficult for anyone to be experiencing hair loss. But someone who is as young as 20, I'm thinking of myself walking in for a job interview, you
Yeah.
know, fresh off the bat. You want to feel as confident as you can in the way that you feel and look and your presentation. And so coming to you and finding a solution that works best would help
Yeah.
someone's self-esteem, give them that extra boost that they need, and to then feel confident that it'll be permanent for years to come.
Yeah.
So here's my next myth. Myth number 5. Genetic hair loss is passed down through your mother's side of the family.
Yeah, that's a very common one. And that was at some point kind of a belief or something that was really said, but there is really no evidence that it's only from the mother's side. It's from both sides.
So it could be either way. It could be true, but it could not be true.
It looks like it's not true. Like right now, there's nobody that can tell you for sure that it's only from the mother's side.
Do you personally think that you get your hair from your mother's side?
I don't know. I think I've seen both sides.
You see both sides? I can never tell sometimes. Well, what about hair color? Does that ever work the same as far as genetics?
It's a combination.
It's a combination,
Yeah.
so
Especially red hairs, redheads, they have to
perfectly match in order to get that genetic
Yeah, it's what we call a recessive gene, so it has to be on both sides of the family.
in order
Otherwise,
to receive it.
it doesn't
Otherwise,
happen.
no redheads.
No.
So, my next myth is: does shampoo ever make your hair fall out? I know I'm always asking my hairdresser whenever I go, what is the perfect? How many days a week should I be washing my hair, especially for women, because I don't want it to be too clean. I know that natural oils are good for your hair.
Mhm.
So, is it true? Shampoo, does it ever make your hair fall out?
No.
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 So another
It does-
myth busted.
Yeah,
Man, we're on
that's
a
not-
roll for busting these myths today. Now, do you have the answer to my ultimate question of how many times I should be shampooing my head a week?
No, I don't have an answer for
Oh,
that.
come on, Dr. Rafael Sierra.
I'll leave that to your personal decision. and see
Okay.
if-
All right. Well, my next one has to do with our good old sunshine here in Florida. We see a lot of it, even though it's
Mhm.
been raining the past couple of days. And that is, does direct sunshine, does that affect baldness? Is that bad for your hair, too much sun?
No, not for as far as losing hair. But I mean, direct sunshine, it's really not good at all for your skin. So wearing a hat is a good idea if you're going to be outside. Not only to protect your hair can get a little dry and it can get damaged, but that doesn't mean that you're going to lose your hair.
Not lose your hair.
No.
Now, we have talked previously before, though, someone who is coming to see you and have one of your hair surgeries to better their hair care,
Mhm.
you do recommend that directly after the procedure to take special care of their new hair follicles as their hair is
Yeah.
growing in, to maybe keep a little bit away out of the sun. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, right after the surgery, after the transplant, patients are instructed not to get under direct sunlight, at least for the first 5 days. Remember, we've talked about this, that the hair follicle, once it's transplanted, it takes about 5 to 7 days to really get fixed. And after that, patients can go back to their normal routine.
And then from there, they're good.
Yeah.
And I should say that this is a slow growth of receiving your new
Yes.
hair. So this isn't something that you have to fear, ooh, when is the good time to go and receive this procedure? It's not something that you're going to come out the next day
No,
with
or
your
the next
long
week.
locks of hair. This is something that will grow over time, looks
Right.
very natural, and feels natural because it is natural.
That's correct. Yeah, it's a gradual process. From the date of the procedure until we see about 90%, it takes between 9 and 12 months. So it is a gradual process, and I always tell my patients to be ready, because the first 3-4 months they actually look like nothing happened, and then starting at month 4 to 5, you can start see some of the new hair growing, and then by month 8 or 9, you really can see the difference.
I'm glad you give that warning, because otherwise I feel like some people would be very upset after a month of like,
Yeah,
what did that
I'm
doctor do to my head that long day?
Yeah, like, what did I pay for?
Yeah, but patience is key. It will grow in. I'm sure you can even go and check out. You have some before and after pictures. If someone wants to even see the difference, you can go to your website. Remind people again, where can they go online?
The website is sierrarobotic.com. And our phone number is 954-776-0830.
And the Sierra Robotic Hair Institute is located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's always best to have an appointment to have that one-on-one interaction with Dr. Rafael Sierra, but I'm sure they would welcome you to stop on by their institute to see it and check it out yourself.
Yeah, and we also offer virtual
Consultations.
And also, I know we're almost at the end of January, but we're still offering $1,000 off for the New Year, New You special.
Whoa. Say that again. So New Year, New You. You are still holding on to this special. It's still available.
Still available
Say it one
until
more
the
time
end of the
for
month.
us. It is
$1,000 off any hair transplant. And you don't have to do the transplant during this month. You can just put in your deposit, and then you have up to 6 months to schedule it.
So if you're looking for that extra special Valentine present, now's the time to book and look into it, because with that special, that is pretty hard to beat. And if you're someone who maybe isn't living right here in the area, I'm sure that you can speak to Dr. Rafael Sierra. They have done travel vouchers before, so just call, show them you're interested, and I'm sure they will work something out to make sure that you can come on in and see what everything is all about. Before we wrap up today's show, can I leave you with one more myth to see if we can bust it or not? All right, here we go. Should I be putting down the hair products to keep my hair healthy? Not just products, but hair tools too, like hot tools, the curling iron, the flat iron, all the products, the hairspray that I layer on.
Especially the heating tools, those damage the hair.
They do damage
the hair. Yeah, they don't damage the hair follicle, but they do damage the hair. And some chemicals may be damaging to the skin, but not so much to the hair follicle.
Okay, so maybe not relating directly to baldness of hair.
Exactly.
But as far as keeping your hair healthy and making sure that copious amounts of hair keeps nice and natural and beautiful, to maybe be aware of those hot tools.
Yeah.
Good
It's
to
a good
know.
idea.
And to remind everyone, if you're interested in meeting Dr. Rafael Sierra, finding out where he's located, it is at 2151 East Commercial Boulevard. There's Suite 204 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Or you can give them a call at
954-776-0830.
Well, can I throw you one more? I think we have time
We have
for
time?
literally one more.
One more?
Just one more. We'll make it quick.
It's itching.
The last one. I have to say it. Myth or not, elevated levels of testosterone. Is it a leading factor for hair loss?
Well, it depends how elevated, but testosterone, it is the main cause for hair loss in men.
So not a myth.
Not a myth.
That one I finally got in there. Not a myth. That is one of the main factors, is when it's those super high levels, especially for our men, to make sure we keep an eye on. So once again, if you are looking for the man, Dr. Rafael Sierra is the one to help you. And make sure you have those copious amounts of hair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This has been Better Hair, Better You, wrapping up on your Monday evening. You can tune in next time as we talk all things hair, and we'll see what the new myths may be on the show.
Maybe next time we'll find more.
Thank you, Rafael Sierra. I'm your host, Alana Shearer, and we will catch you next time.
You have been listening to the Better Hair, Better You show with Dr. Sierra. Dr. Sierra has shared valuable inspiration and information to help restore hair growth and confidence. If you want more information, call Dr. Sierra at 954-776-0830 or visit his website at sierrarobotic.com. And tune in again next week for another valuable life improvement moment.